Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Snap Decisions. I am your host with the most, the Snap DJ, and I'm here on an evening show, and I've got a special guest with me tonight. His name is Benjamin Roller. Ben, what's going on, man? Glad to have you. Really honored for you to be here.
Oh, not too much. It's the start of another fine season in Marvel Snap, and it's an exciting time for all.
Absolutely. One of the best times to be a Snap player is when everything resets and starts over. And, let's hope you're not buried too far down the ladder when you start. But in any case, yeah, absolutely. So, Ben, the first thing I want to talk about a little bit, because we were both a part of, and this is how actually Ben's in, we're both in a Discord, but we both played in the Snap Judgments League. We actually played each other, and Ben defeated my poor Annihilus deck pretty badly, if I remember. I was playing Galactus, like the thick head that I am, and can't move away from that card sometimes. But yeah, so Ben, talk about your experience, because I really enjoyed it, man. I went 2-2. Once I gave up on Galactus, I did a little better. I played a Man-Thing deck and won with that, and then I played Discard and won with that. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I talked this up to the people that listen, and a dollar entry, and it was just a good time. Really brought me back to times of my Magic days when we were going to the card shops and we were playing across from the other players, and you're meeting all new people. And even if you didn't make it to the finals of a tournament or something, you went around and you talked, you traded cards and stuff like that with the physical cards. But yeah, I had a great experience with it, and of course, met some great people like yourself. So yeah, talk a little about your experience. Obviously, Ben went 4-0. And then had to play to get further, but unfortunately lost in that game. But man, talk a little about your experience with the league, because I thought it was great.
Oh, I agree. I just had the most fun. I hadn't had as much time last month to play Marvel Snap as I usually do.
Yeah,
and I found that it was like really nice to just have like one thing that actually mattered, because once you hit infinite, you're sort of like making up your own meaning within the game.
yeah.
I mean, you can like chase that top ranking, but I think it's a flawed and silly system, and I don't really worry too much about that, so I mostly screw off to Conquest for most of the month. But like having the league to like think about and plan for, and then get there and execute, and just like meeting the nicest people. Everyone was such a good sport. It is reminiscent of when you have like a good player group at your local game store.
Yep.
And like everyone is treating each other with respect, because like we all understand that there's another human being there. Like,
yes.
Like even just like chatting with people to set up the time to play, you become aware of them as a person. You find out what time zone they're in. These little details, like human connection. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely going to be in the other ones they're doing. I know they're going to be running an actual tournament, which is exciting. It's supposed to be a really big one, so I'll be entering that, and then of course I'll be back in the league too. But yeah, I thought it was great. Tell everybody which deck you played. Talk about your deck a little bit. It was a surfer combination move type deck with Kingpin in there. Yeah.
Yes. So for 3 of the 4 weeks, all right. So I played Surfer Move for 3 of the 4 weeks.
Okay.
On week 2, I believe, were you my opponent week 2, Joe?
Yes. Yeah, week 2, yeah.
All right. You got the early version with Juggernaut in it.
Okay. Yep.
And then the people week 3 and 4 got the version with America Chavez instead.
Okay.
Which seemed unintuitive to me. Like, I wanted the Juggernaut version to be better. Just, I found it more aesthetically consistent and beautiful, and like everything is moving along the same vector or whatever. I don't know. But like it felt like Juggernaut should be in that deck, but America Chavez just made it more consistent, easier to do hope things, easier to get a big Brood or a big Shaw, and that was great. But week 1 I played Discard, a discard deck of my own devising with
Nice.
the Silver Samurai and Stature, and
Oh, okay.
I've been trying to push that. I was trying to push that one since like January, trying to tell people like, hey, it's fun to play Stature and Silver Samurai in your aggressive Apocalypse discard. But yeah, Safety agrees with me. He thought it was cool.
Safety, yeah. You know what? Well, it's funny you mentioned Stature and Black Bolt. That is being played a lot now with Zemo. A lot
Oh,
of the
really?
deck, yeah. In fact,
I haven't played too much this season.
Yeah, I just saw it a couple
Past
times
24
today.
hours.
There's a list that's going around that has both of them in it. Of course, Zemo's in there. They also have Dr. Octopus in there. And man, am I seeing
is that
Dr.
what I've been seeing?
Yes, everybody's hating on Dr. Octopus. I'm seeing comments on Twitter. I'm like, I hate Dr. I'm like, where's this going on? Like,
he's a very fair card.
Oh,
he's the fairest.
Usually every time I play him, he pulls Shang-Chi all the time, and he blows my Doc Ock up. Yep, all the time. But yeah, there's a list going around. So apparently, I guess that's a thing. I don't know, but you may have been onto something before. You may have been ahead of the curve, because
I just think Silver Samurai is great in general.
Yeah,
he always hits.
I mean, this is, I think, safeties: Ghost Spider, Iceman, Yondu, Jeff, Maximus, Hope, Baron Zemo, Gladiator, Shuri, Shang-Chi, Doc Ock, and Red Hulk. Is in his
I've definitely
list.
Seen that list.
Yep.
I have run into that.
And then the Black Bolt one is Iceman or Spider-Ham, Iceman, Yondu, Beast, Cable, Hope, Baron, Gladiator, Shang, Stature, Black Bolt, and Doc Ock.
I don't think I've seen that one. Maybe I have. I saw an errant Black Bolt the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always happy to see him out there.
Yeah, Samurai's disruptive though. It really is. It's a good card for disruption because you steal a card away or take a card away from them that they usually need. So that's interesting. So and obviously you went for what other, because I know with mine, but what were some of the other decks that you beat?
Let's see. What did I play against? There was that clog deck in the last one. Oh, geez.
I can't remember either.
I remember the players I played. I played Calhoun in the first round. I think I played at least, maybe somebody was playing Loki at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, I played Calhoun in the first round. I played Straight Edge 53, maybe is the number. I don't know. Yep. Straight Edge and then a number. They were very nice. Big fan of them. Yeah. And you and shoot. I'm not sure what people played. There might have been a Thanos in it. Yeah, you played Galactus and you had like Hobgoblin or something and an Annihilus. And
Hobgreen, Annihilus, Sentry. Yeah, it was like the hybrid Sentry Galactus deck. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, I remember in week 4, somebody was playing War Machine with Howard the Duck.
Okay.
That was my week 4 matchup.
Okay.
And I was very excited to see Howard the Duck that deep into the league.
Yeah, for sure. Howard is whenever you get to see a Howard, it's pretty good stuff. I was actually playing on Infinite Ladder to end the not Infinite Ladder. I wish I was playing. I was playing in Conquest, and I won my first 4 Infinite games, and I was playing with a Tribunal deck. I've never played with a Tribunal deck before, and I had Howard the Duck in the Tribunal deck. So, and it actually works out pretty well. Yeah, it was all right.
Oh yeah. I'm always tracking my card stats on one of the websites with the trackers and all that. I use all 3 of them at once. But Howard the Duck, he performs just fine for me. Mm-hmm. Not a stellar card, but certainly not as the numbers do not support his foul reputation. Yeah. And Tribunal, you can kind of you can use him to prepare yourself, so you kind of know, all right, am I getting the cards I need? If not, you kind of got to go another direction with it. So I got all the way. Oh, I'm so angry. I wanted an Infinite Border Man thing, and I got all the way to the final round. I was playing a guy who was playing Black Knight, the new Black Knight deck with War Machine and all that in it. So I'm like, oh, yeah.
So, but I got the combo off on him. He beat me the first game. I got the combo off in the second game, so we were very close. I think we were 4 cubes down each. And then I played a game where I literally was digging for. I had 2 Jubilees, I think, because of one of the locations allowed me to double. So I was pulling cards. My Iron Man, the card that I would have beaten him with, bottom of my deck. Last, and Howard, of course, saw it. Last card in the bottom of my deck, I couldn't draw. So the game had been over. It was last turn. I wasn't getting a draw, and my very last card in the deck was Iron Man. And I lost because of the Iron Man. And I was like, oh, I was so aggravated. Infinite and me do not agree. No matter if it's infinite in Conquest or infinite in Ladder, I'm confined to the fact that there's some kind of magnetic border there that is just not going to allow me to pass. Because
you're gonna get infinite on Ladder
either one
days, Joe. I've been following your career and your
gosh,
your ups and downs. You'll get there, man.
I hope so.
It's inevitable.
It would be great to share at some point. That's why I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm going to stop being so stubborn and start playing decks that are probably a little bit better on Ladder than what I was trying to play. So I was telling you before the show, I'm playing Thanos, and people are going to be like, this guy that just needled everybody about playing Thanos is playing Thanos now. I started, why not? I started all the way back in 40 because I didn't make it to 80 this month. So I started back in 40. Well, I'm up to just about 60. I went up 20 levels in less than a day because I had a lot of time to play. So not bad.
Well done. Yeah,
not bad. The thing with Thanos, you'll notice, and I'm sure the Thanos players out there will see, you're not getting a lot of big wins. You're just not. I had 1 8-cuber in that whole time. It's all 1s and 2s because they retreat. Especially with
milk the bots.
It is. Yeah. It's a lot of times
I don't really play Thanos, so I don't know how.
A lot of times I'm just getting retreats. You know what it is too, is I get that Red Hulk out there and boom, gone.
He really does like telegraph like everything.
Yeah, he does.
There's no element of surprise there.
No, because they know you have it. And if they know they can't beat it, or if they don't have a Shang or something like that, they're just gone. So yeah, I was just getting a lot of retreats and stuff from that, but yeah. So very cool. Well, the Judgments League is awesome, and I mentioned this to you guys on the pod yesterday that I did the audio pod. But yeah, if you have a chance, get in on it. It's only $1 to join the Patreon, and it's a lot of fun. You'll get to meet some new people. Sometimes, hey, you'll get the person I played in my last week, and I don't recall his name either. Very cool. But he actually played Lambie in his first game and actually beat him. So that's a pretty cool moment. If you can come out and say
property of ass whoopings,
yeah,
you're better
man.
than Lambie.
Yeah, you could come out and say, yeah, I know. You could come out and say, you know what, I beat Lambie. I may not have gone anywhere in the tournament, but I beat the best player in the world. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you can have that happen. So yeah, so join the league if you can, and obviously join Snap Judgments Discard as well. So all right, so gonna move on here, and I want to chat with you a little bit about the new. Well, first, let's put a little wrap on last season. So give me your thoughts on what do you think about last season's cards overall. I mean, the whole season in itself, the season pass card, and obviously I want to talk a little about War Machine as well, because this card was very, very, very hyped. I mean, hyped to the point of where it was almost like high Evo. And I wanted to get your yeah, right. And I wanted to get your impressions on that. Do you think War Machine lived up to the hype? Because I kind of don't. It's a good card, but I kind of don't. Go ahead.
Who you asked about the hype?
Yeah,
I will tell you what I told Glazer when he solicited my opinions for his monthly article.
Yes, I did that too. Yeah.
I ranked War Machine number 5. Okay. More like Snore Machine, am I right?
Wow.
He didn't use that line, but I can't imagine why.
Okay.
That's some high level analysis that he left on the table there. But I said he'll pull his weight in Lockdown, but the Infinite hype is probably misguided. And I mean, the Infinite hype, I guess it's real, but like, is it good enough to? Is it? I've I'm not very impressed by it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think War Machine is fine. You know, not a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but I skipped him comfortably.
Okay. Oh wow. So you actually skipped the card. Wow. Okay.
I skipped a lot of stuff last month.
Okay.
I needed to pull back, get some keys, you
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
So I only got
Um,
Hope and Mockingbird last month, but I have
okay.
opinions about all kinds of cards.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go through it. I will agree with you on War Machine though. I was kind of hyped up for it myself. But once I had it, I thought, like you were saying, it's basically infinite. It really was. It's just basically allowing you to just play infinite anywhere. Ebony Maw fell into the category too, but in the end, Ebony Maw is not going to probably win you a game unless you sneak it
Yep.
in there.
That's not like a reason for the season.
No, no, absolutely not. So yeah, I agree. I mean, it found its place. It seems to have been it's in a Black Knight deck now, I think, and
I
it
think
kind of
that's where it belongs.
yeah, it kind of found its place in there. And sure, the deck's strong. It's going to plow out big power, and that's really just another way to do it, I guess. But yeah, let's go over the season itself. And obviously, you ranked War Machine as the last card, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the other ones. Obviously, Hope we'll go over first. The season pass card, very, very good card. Very,
Oh
very good
yeah.
card. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. You could throw it in almost any deck. You really can. It's going to generate you energy, and just an amazing season pass card. So, what are your thoughts on Hope?
My thoughts on Hope are that she's very strong. I kind of like her, honestly. She rewards a lot of the kinds of cards that I enjoy playing.
Yep.
I don't like playing I don't enjoy like ramp and stuff where you're playing one card on every turn. I like to chase the dream of like playing several things on Hope or Angela or Elsa or like any of those like things that like reward you for moving cards off of a lane, because I just love moving cards. The rumors are true. Benjamin Roller, big fan of the move mechanic. Yeah, so I just love it when you play a card, move it off of there, make room. It makes it so that your opponent can't tell where the power is actually going. They know where it'll start, but I like to keep plates spinning, balls in the air, etc. Yeah, I think Hope is a really fun card, really powerful. I almost wish she was like a little less powerful so that she felt more like for the weirdos and hipsters. But no, she's mainstream as it comes, and sometimes like it's popular because it just rips.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a really, really good season pass card. Very strong card, no doubt.
Very strong. I was using it in all my day one builds. I've got a cool little deck with Baron Zemo and Hope and Mockingbird and stuff. It's
Nice.
Yeah,
Worked
it's working
well.
out so
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
so far so good. It's not working out so well. It's working out well enough. Let's be honest.
Hey, that's good. That's awesome. Yeah, she was really good. And I think people, for the most part, probably figured it would be, but yeah, very, very good card. What about Pixie? What did you think about Pixie? I gave it a shot. First day, I was throwing it in some decks with some big. I know she made her way into like a weird high evo build that I had it in for a little bit. I also had it in there with the deck that had Wasp and Yellow Jacket in there as well to try to get them to swap out with like your Magneto and your bigger cards. And it worked every now and again, but the every now and again wasn't great because when it didn't work, it was terrible. So yeah, what did you think of Pixie? I'm not that fond of it. Listen, Pixie's a fun card. It's a fun card to me, but it's not going to be a card that's going to get you a lot of wins. I don't think.
Nope.
You may steal a game or two because people aren't going to really know. It's the RNG factor. They're just not going to know what you have. But yeah. What'd you think of Pixie?
I think Pixie is exactly as practical as I wanted Pixie to be. I don't think that a card like Pixie should be all that great, but at the same time, Pixie is exciting and like kind of weird, and people will have fun with her, and I want them to win some games while they do that. But if Pixie were too good, it would be a problem because like she creates the same kind of uncertainty that like pre-nerf blob did, where you can't know what they have. Like you've got no idea what the ceiling is on what they're going to drop on the last turn or whatever.
Yep.
Like you should be able to be more informed, or like the decisions lose meaning.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I thought she was cool. The dynamic of her, though, as you pointed out, is just it's too random. It's too much RNG. Even if you would have like really the only cards you're going to have that are in there as zeros are Wasp and Yellow Jacket. There aren't any more that you can do. So you're not going to really get stuff that's going to be zero cost, which I think a lot of people were thinking of when she came out. I'll get these big free cards. I'll get a free Doctor Doom, or I'll get a free, Hulk, or a free Infinite. Yeah, it doesn't always happen. No, I would agree with your assessment on that. She's a cool card, but you're right. They can't make that overly good, or like you were saying, it'll just dominate. So yeah,
I don't want to have to play Mobius in every deck. That's not fun.
Yeah. And it's happening, guys. If you haven't been playing Snap lately, Mobius is starting to become the no fun card. People are calling him the no fun card. I've seen that out on the Twitter stuff where just people are getting disgusted that he's getting played a lot again. So yeah, for sure. All right. So what was the next one? I know I'm going to miss one. Was Cannonball next?
May have been. Are we going by release date?
Yeah, I was trying to start from release date.
Second release was Mockingbird.
Mockingbird, thank you. Yeah, let's go to Mockingbird. Obviously, she went right into Thanos and is super powerful in Thanos because of the stones. Probably overpowered. I would not be shocked. I think there's an OTA actually tomorrow, I think I heard. Wouldn't be surprised if something happens there where they make it so she doesn't work with the stones. I would
love that.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were not going to propose a more overall nerf to her
I don't
power
want
level.
One. No, 100%. I don't want one. I think she's a fantastic card when played properly, but she's broken in Thanos.
But get her out of Thanos.
Yeah. She's just broken.
Thank you.
I mean, trust me. It'll suck for me because I'm playing Thanos now, and she's amazing. Because she's got. Look, you're getting her out almost all the time at either a 2 or a 3 or even lower. And then she's just a big 9 in a lane where they can't do a thing about it. There's no Shang-Chi. There's none of you can throw her in a lane with some of the like with a stone in there, with another, maybe your hope lane she could be in there, and she could just win that lane for you. And that's pretty powerful in Thanos when I have a 25-point Red Hulk going in another lane. So yeah, it's nasty in Thanos. I don't know how they could do it. Like, I don't even know how Second Dinner would do it. Does it get printed on the card and says does not work with Thanos, or do they just put it in there where it just shuts off? It just doesn't work into Thanos. I don't know.
I think they change Thanos and make it clear somewhere on his text box that now those stones start in your deck. They count as cards that started in your deck.
Yeah. That's really the only way they could do it without But yeah.
Or maybe they don't even put it in his text box and they just functionally change it.
Change it. Yeah.
Let people learn through repetition.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too, is just go ahead and put the change in. But other than that, she's really a phenomenal card.
Oh yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
She was my favorite of the season. The only card I actually acquired outside of Hope.
Yeah, agreed. What did you play her in if you got a chance to play her? I know some people had her in Patriot.
I actually have really only started getting much use out of her this morning.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of time to play last month, and I was mostly playing other things that she didn't belong in. I was, honing my move surfer nonsense and focusing on what I was going to bring for the league. But now today I'm playing her in a deck with Omega Red, and it's sort of a weird Kazoo deck with Baron Zemo and Squirrel Girl, and I'm trying Shanna right now. Nice. The She-Devil! But I'm not entirely sold. I think there's just something very unwieldy about that card that just no amount of raw bodies on the board. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not convinced that she's ever the right choice.
Yeah.
But I'm trying her out. But yeah, she's a lot of fun with Mockingbird. Mockingbird gets real cheap real quick.
Yes, it does.
And you throw her down on the Omega Red lane, maybe finish with an onslaught there that they're not expecting, because nobody's expecting onslaught.
Nope.
And yeah, maybe you got a stew going. You know, it's
yeah. I like it. I like it.
Some veggies.
some veggies, some potatoes, and yeah, there you go. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's just an all-around great card. I love her character. I always have, from the comics on up through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was very prominent in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series.
I did not.
That's a good watch, actually. If you're into Marvel stuff, it is. Now, I will say this. It's a little goofy right from the start, because Coulson is supposed to have died. Well, he's not dead anymore in that series. So they never really said that it was part of the MCU until kind of recently. But it was cool because you see characters in there like Deathlock was in it. Cool. Yeah, you see Ghost Rider, but the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider with the car is actually in that series. And then there was a whole season where they were in space, which is just completely bonkers. They're all in outer space at one point, but Mockingbird ended up in, I want to say, the 3rd season. She came in. Yeah, her character was phenomenal. But it's a good watch. There's I think 4 seasons it went, if I'm not mistaken, but it's just a fun show. It's just a real, no real seriousness like you find in like Endgame or Infinity War or anything like that. It's just, I just thought it was a fun watch, but I knew her character from there. Never really knew her much about comics. I didn't even know she had her own comic book series for a little while. I had no idea. But yeah, I love the way that card is, and you're right, 100%. I hope they don't change it to destroy her card, and kind of like they have done for other cards a little bit, like Psylocke. They pay for Thanos' sins, and I kind of don't like that.
It's very similar to what was happening with poor, was it 2-0 Collector that we had for a minute?
Yep.
What was that?
Yeah,
that was so unfair,
ridiculous. Yeah, because that was for Loki. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, 100%.
I don't know why who gets these shields from rebalancing. Like, what entitles you to immunity as a card? Good Lord, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let me ask you this question.
If there were some sort of rhyme or reason, I would just love to hear about it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, here's a question I would pose to you, because I've asked some people about this too. So Thanos as a whole, if you were a developer and you had the capability of coming up with a way to change that card in itself, how would you change it? Because I know it's a deck archetype in its own. If you change his wording, it's completely going to change the entire aspect of the card. I had some people on Twitter suggest to me, well, make him more like the comic books where he has to be played somehow, because no one ever plays Thanos in a Thanos deck. They're right. Very seldom does he ever get played. A lot of times I've known people complete the stones and he doesn't even come out then, and he's a 20-point card. So people were suggesting that he has to collect the stones and then he has to be played, or there's something about the stones. One person said that the stones can't get destroyed, but who cares? They don't play destroy Thanos really much anymore at all.
No, that used to be a thing, not as much.
Yeah. So if it were up to you, how would you change Thanos if you had the ability to do it?
I have not given this very much thought. I think one issue that I wonder about is, how bad do they actually want Thanos to be? Because, the character occupies a certain space in the culture. You know what I mean? Like, I think they want Thanos to be good all the time. Right. I think they want it's not a controversial thing to say that the MCU was at its most successful. Endgame was sort of peak MCU, and the space in the culture. Like
100%.
They want to turn back the clock or the calendar rather, to like 2019 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that keeping Thanos omnipresent in the game is, they want him always in the spotlight, or the spotlight cache.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how bad do they even want to make him? I don't think it's healthy for him to be like this dominant, this consistently for such long stretches of time. But I think they do want him to be kind of always around. I mean, by that same logic, you'd think they would have buffed Cap by now, because he also
right.
There's a certain familiarity with that character that like you'd think
such an iconic character.
Buff.
Yeah, and his card is so bad.
But no, I feel like I dodged the question. How would I fix Thanos? I might get rid of the stones altogether. I think I might just rip the Band-Aid off, do a rework. But at the same time, the stones are like, sort of, they are his. Collecting these 6 Infinity Stones is my bag, baby.
That's it. Yeah.
Like that's like his whole deal.
Thing. Yeah.
I guess it is very flavorful, and he's searching for the 6 stones. It's very top down. The design, like, it is good in its way. I just think it's unfortunate that it is so like restrictive to the design space going forward. Yeah, I don't know how I would fix him if not
it's
just
hard.
Starting from the
rework it.
Just burn it all down.
Yeah, it's really hard, and like you said,
I don't envy them this problem, because I don't have a solution for it.
Yeah.
Other than to start anew.
Yeah, it really is. They are in fact, I just read the books. I didn't even know the books existed, but there was a Thanos miniseries, the 4-issue miniseries that came out at the end of last year. He goes to Earth in search of a girl that's there that is actually Death reliving her life in this girl's body. And so it's kind of a weird story. He's going after this teenage girl, and you have no idea why he's going after her. Well, here, there was a thing done with the Avengers where Death promised them that made some sort of promise that where if they would allow her to live her life as a normal human being and then die a normal life, that she would never cause them any issues anymore, and would never, wouldn't join with Thanos, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Thanos ends up finding her, and then ends up killing her anyway. So Death comes out of the body at that time because she's dead. And then there's this whole thing. But at the end of the story, he ended up creating what is it? They have 5 Infinity Stones, right? So he ends up creating a 6th stone and encases her spirit in the stone. So he now has a 6th stone that is called the Death Stone.
Or a 7th one?
Yes, a 7. Is there 6 or 7? I don't remember.
I think there are 6. No, I struggle with this myself. And
I have a gauntlet sitting literally right down on my bottom.
I know. I'm looking at like the logo of Snap Decisions, and I'm like, that one on the back of the hand.
It is 6. Yeah, so it would be 7. But he has this new Death Stone thing where basically now this thing is supposed to get its own gauntlet. It's that powerful. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they'll introduce that into the game at some point where you can have that somehow and wipe that. I don't know. No, I'm just spitballing.
That really could be like their way out. It's possible that they even like somehow by adding a 7th stone, they could like
just wipe everything.
If they made it make Thanos's power level more like variable and inconsistent, where like maybe like the ceiling on what you could do with Thanos would be like higher, but he would not be as like, what if they made a very exciting nerf by adding a 7th bad stone,
right?
Or a 7th very situational conditional stone.
It's almost like it would almost be kind of like you don't want to get it, but you're forced to have it in your deck. And then if you end up drawing it
sort of like the 8-ball or something like that.
Yes. And then if you draw
this one,
it wipes out stuff on your board, or it wipes out Thanos or something. Yeah. You know what? Maybe we're on to something.
I think you cracked it, Joe.
Maybe we're on to something here.
I think we we group thunk.
There
We
you go.
brainstormed.
There you
And
go.
yeah.
Maybe we figured it out, second dinner. There's no way they're listening, but if you are, there you go. Maybe
Oh,
it's the Death Stone. You never know.
if I made this game, I'd listen to all the podcasts. I play this game and I listen to all the podcasts.
Yeah, I do too.
Who knows who is or is not listening?
Yeah, you're right. You
I
never
make
know.
no assumptions
You never
there.
know. That's true. I oh God, I listen to so many creators that do this. It's crazy. But yeah, it's great. You get different ideas and everything from everybody, so it's awesome. But all right, so that's the Thanos discussion. You know what? I want to backtrack a little bit because I want to first of all ask you some stuff about. So what brought you? Well, first of all, when did you start playing Snap? And what brought you into the game? Like, what's your? Did you have a gaming background? I know a lot of people have had card game backgrounds that they've had. Me, I started in Magic in the very early days, like Unlimited Magic. So I was playing that for a good long time. I played out a Marvel game that was out right around the time of the MCU films called Marvel Battle Lines, which was very bad, but it was also very expensive.
That's not a good combination at all.
It really wasn't. And I think they just really capitalized on the fact that the movies are out. And it was addicting to play because you wanted to get these good cards. Like Thanos was in the game and the Black Order was in the game. You know, all these things from the movies are in there. So you wanted to get these good cards. But you really had to whale. People think you're going to whale in this game. No. You ever played Battle Lines? Whoo, man. Because the packs that you bought, there was like different levels. There was a rare pack and an uncommon pack, and then there was an unlimited pack, which gave you opportunities. They would tell you what cards could be in these packs, right? So maybe you get a Thanos in this pack, but you had to buy multiples of these packs to even try to get. Oh, it was bad.
Everything I already hate about the collectible card game model, just
so bad. And then you know, just when you're getting into it, you got all this stuff you're doing, you're starting to play, and then all of a sudden Black Panther was supposed to come out, and they were talking about their big Black Panther release. Not 2 days later, it's like, we're closing this game. We're ending this game now. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, that's goofy.
It was so bad.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I hope you did not pour too much money in.
I did. I did.
I'm really sorry.
It
stinks.
It was bad. But yeah, what's your background? First of all, like I said, when did you start playing Snap? Did you get in on the beta? I did not. I started about a month or so after. But yeah, what's your background for Snap itself? When did you start? And also, what kind of led you to come into Snap?
I started playing Marvel Snap very shortly after global launch on mobile.
Okay.
I started, I want to say November 2nd or 3rd, 2022, just in time to go wild and finish up everything for the symbiote invasion season. In about a 72-hour period. I ripped through the recruit season and did all the crap for that season pass.
Nice.
I just I fell right in love with the game. I had been aware of its coming, of course, because I played a fair amount of Hearthstone for many years.
Okay.
I don't anymore. I recently started playing some Hearthstone Battlegrounds again with my partner, and that's like a fun thing to do if we're like watching the traders on Peacock or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to pay attention, but it's a fun multitask thing. But yeah, I don't play Hearthstone anymore, but I did play Hearthstone for a time.
Okay.
And that was cool. And I had faith that, whatever second dinner came out with inevitably, would probably be worth checking out at the very least. And I love all kinds of card games and Marvel stuff. That's the recent history. But if I were to go back further to where I started with things, the first card game I played any of at all was the Pokemon trading card game.
Okay.
And I like card games so much that I was not a Pokemon fan before I found out about these cards. But then I saw these cards with the the names and the numbers and the attacks and the retreat costs, weaknesses, resistances, I was like, oh, you get to be smart in this game. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so then I got into Pokemon, like the Game Boy game and all that stuff, like backwards from there. Once I saw the cards, like everything made sense.
Okay.
And back then they were, I think, published by Wizards of the Coast.
They were.
So that made me see this logo on Magic the Gathering starter set with the rocks on the cover around the time of 6th edition.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I've seen the older kids at the store where I play Pokemon. They've been playing this game and it looks really cool.
Yep.
So I saved up my allowance for many weeks. My parents were not, I did not have a lot of money because my parents are sensible people. And I applaud them for their restraint and their willingness to say no to buying this stuff. So eventually I scraped together $12 or whatever and got that starter set. And it had a CD-ROM that like you could sort of practice against the computer. So I learned about like it had cards that weren't even in the starter set. I learned about Wrath of God and Armageddon and these
that's
symmetrical like game-changing cards and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And the memory is still with me to this day. And so I played Magic for a long time. I started around the time Invasion came out. And when you're a kid, like everything like seems like way longer. So I took 2 years off playing Magic. I skipped Kamigawa block and Ravnica block, and it felt like, oh, I've been out of the game for so long, I can never play Magic again. But sure enough, I did. When I had a high school job and stuff, just every paycheck just became booster boxes, and that was really cool. But even then, I didn't have all the cards like I can in Snap. Like I've never actually been able to have a meaningfully like complete collection of any collectible game I've ever played. And I've played a lot of collectible games, and I love the personal nature of, building a deck or a team of HeroClix figures or whatever, or like anything like that. And so Marvel Snap is really great for me because I actually have all the tools. I can, all the colors are on my palette. I can paint whatever I want, like really, or at least I could before this 64 latte. Be good to the carpet. Sorry.
That's okay.
Being an out of control teen. Anyway, So I'm not a big fan of this 64 new cards a year business. Because I've never been able to stay complete on a game for $10 a month. I'm a very frugal person, and I really I try not to. I've wasted enough money in my life, and I'm not gonna waste any more. I'm a big fan of making good decisions. And keeping Marvel Snap as a $10 a month hobby feels like a good decision to me. Yeah. So it sucks that I can't have all the cards anymore, but I can have most of the cards, so I'm still a pretty happy camper. I would still rate Marvel Snap's financial burden as being much lighter than the average game that I have played. So as frustrated as I am, the grass is still significantly greener on this side where I now live. But yeah, I love all kinds of card games. Loved Magic the Gathering. I bought a lot of Versus system cards, especially when I would go to Wizard World Chicago for the HeroClix tournaments with the Iowa City gaming folks. I would we'd roll up, play in the HeroClix tournament, walk around the floor, all the booths and things, and there would always be like somebody trying to unload a bunch of Versus cards from like 2 years ago for like $10 for a booster box. And even though I couldn't find like anybody to play a game with any frequency, I loved opening packs. I mean, who doesn't love opening packs? It's a
100%.
very fun experience, especially when it's $10 for like 30 of them or whatever. But I no longer love opening packs now. I resent opening packs. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But the experience is pleasurable, and that's cool. So yeah, if you put comic book characters in it and tell me that I get to make decisions that could win me a game, I will. Yeah, I'll go after it. Played HeroClix versus System. I even love video games about Marvel superheroes. It's one of those things where I don't think about it very often, but I suppose yes. Part of my identity is that I am kind of a Marvel fan when you get right down to it, and
Yeah.
I don't like to think of myself that way, but you know, the numbers don't lie. I've spent a lot of hours reading Marvel things and playing Marvel things and watching Marvel things, and
Yep.
yeah, I
Same
am
here.
I suppose.
Same here. Well, you said you played HeroClix. So I got to introduce you to someone here.
You've got a big old Galactus.
I do,
Yes,
and there's the
I
HeroClix
recognize
base
him
on the
with
very
all his
bottom.
dials. He's got what, 3 of them, doesn't he?
He does.
And you can play him as a 400,
Actually,
500,
dials.
or 600 point
Yes,
character. Is that correct?
He was hungry. He was there's
starving.
He was hungry, mighty, and starving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
One year I won a side limited tournament at Wizard World Chicago. It wasn't the main event, but I got a big
awesome.
Fin Fang Foom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I immediately liquidated that and turned it into a bunch of versus cards that I never got to play.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember the Fin Fang Foom. We had a ball playing that, and I can't sit here and say that I was ever a great player. I just
I never won a HeroClix tournament. The environment I was playing in, everybody was the Iowa City gaming community went pretty hard. I don't know, it surprises me that I do as well playing Marvel Snap as I have done, because I don't think of myself as a very accomplished gamer compared to the people that I grew up around playing games with. Like, I'm kind of a lightweight, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's like weird to me when I do well here in this game.
Yeah, I've won a couple of tournaments along the way when I played Magic. I mean, Magic was you had talked about it a little bit because we were playing Magic in the Broken Era, because we were playing. I was playing. We were still able to get a lot of alpha and not alpha, because alpha wasn't playable, but beta cards. So we started around unlimited, but we were still able to get the Power 9, and all of us had them. We had the Black Lotus. Yeah. Do I wish I still had those cards? Do I wish I still had those? I had a beta Black Lotus, which is selling. They sell for $500K online. So, which is insane. I had a full set of Moxes, all of the Moxes.
Wow.
I had the Ancestral Recall. I had the Time Walk. I had the Time Twister. I had every one. So we had, and then we got in right after the Arabian Nights set had released. So that was the set where the broken cards in there. I used the Juzam Djinn, which was a 5/5.
Oh, I know Juzam.
Yeah, you know what they are? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I had those, but you were talking about like the Wrath of Gods, the Armageddons. They were all in the unlimited set when we first started to play. So we were playing in that. That was really when Magic was just broken. If you had those,
some of those cards got reprinted a lot, like WoG and Armageddon, but some of them did not.
No, I mean the Moxes and the Lotus. If you had those, oh my God, you wouldn't lose to other players. They were just that powerful. And I can remember, I talk about it. I've mentioned it on here. My biggest play in a game, I always played straight black discard. That was my thing. I would have Hymn to Torak in my deck. I would have cards that would make them discard. I used an artifact called the Rack, which
I know the Rack.
You know the Rack? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I had those in the deck. I was playing a tournament, and my second match I put down a Mox Jet. I put down a Black Lotus. I put down a Dark Ritual and a Mind Twist, and their entire hand was gone. gone. And then I had a rack there as well. I got another rack on the draw. So right there, they're taking 6 damage per turn. Your life is 20, so figure it out. You're going to get 2 draws. And if you don't get 1 land, which they didn't, you're done. It's game over. So you would see stuff like that. I learned the hard way too. My very first tournament, I went in there with, again, I'm playing black cards just because I like them. But at that point, I had no clue. And I had a card called Lord of the Pit, which is so bad.
Oh, yeah.
So bad, right? I just thought big power. This is going to be a good card, right? Yep, big, yep. First guy I played, he played a card called the Channel, and he played a fireball. And he killed me 1 turn, dead, just like that. I'm like, I'm getting all excited. My very first tournament, I'm sitting there. I'm actually a little nervous. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be fun. And he goes, bang, bang. And he's like, I win. And I'm like, what? I sat there like, what are you talking about? Yep.
That was like so fireball. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
You know, when I was playing for much of the time, fireball was deemed like too good to be printed until like I think they brought it back in like Dark Steel or something. Yep. But when I was a kid, we had Blaze.
Yes. Lightning bolts, Blaze was in there.
Oh, yeah, we had Shock. We didn't have Lightning Bolt.
No, that's right. You didn't have that's true. Like, yeah, you had a Shock.
Everything was nerf padded.
Yeah. Oh man.
Goofy. Dude. Goofy as all get out. But I did stick with it long enough for them to bring back your fireballs and your lightning bolts,
the lightning bolts and everything. Yeah. But I won a tournament or two, but I wouldn't say that I was ever I mean, I went to one really big tournament. I remember we drove out of state, went to a different state to play. And the top 10 that qualified would get like about at that time, I think it was like a $10,000 prize or something like that. Or, but I didn't, a friend of mine went much farther than I did. He was playing a very nasty land destruction deck.
I'm a big fan of LD.
Oh man,
yes,
dude. Stone Rain,
all that crap.
At that time, there were Sinkholes, which was the 2 black card that destroyed land. Strip Mines that destroyed lands. Stone Rain, the other, and then he would throw out
in Time Spiral Block. I did some land destruction. Big fan of One Vuli Acid Moss.
He played the Rack, which would penalize you for the opposite, or not the Rack, the Black Vice. That would penalize you for having more than 4 cards in your hand. So if you have no lands, you're taking damage from that. You're not playing anything. And then he also played a card called the Deadly Insect, which was a 6/1 card that could not be targeted. So you couldn't destroy the card. You couldn't fireball it. You couldn't do anything to it. It was just a nasty, nasty deck. I'd hate playing him because literally lockdown. I mean, people talk about lockdown in Snap. That was your lockdown. You couldn't do anything. And a lot of times in Magic, you'd get mana screwed. You just wouldn't get any land in your hand. And if that happens and they're playing that, you're just done. You're not going any further. So yeah, but I'm the same way. I would play Hero Clicks to just have fun with the characters. I remember playing Man Thing a lot because I loved him. I remember playing John Constantine on the DC side because I loved his Hero Click. And yeah, it was just fun, man. I enjoyed it. It was just a way to get out and, like you said, opening those packs. You never know what you're going to get in those bricks that they would sell, and what you're looking for. The ultra rares that you'd get with the silver dials and all that stuff, and So, but
not my favorite of their business practices. Putting those figures like 1 per brick or whatever, or however many bricks. I don't know why we all put up with it for so long. It wasn't long after that I started getting out because I'm like, I just can't afford it. And they started coming out with way too many sets way too fast. Yep.
There'd be a set every other month and I just couldn't keep up. Magic was bad enough at the beginning where they'd come out with a set every 3, but then it started to get even more frequent. And that was the reason I got out of that. And it was just too much. There was just too much coming out. And now we'll transition because, like you just said, with Snap, now it's getting harder and harder. And you made a great point. I don't like to see that either. I am collection complete. I have them all, but it's going to get to a point where nobody can be. and
Not
I
without
get it.
pouring in a lot of supplemental cash in addition
Exactly.
to the season pass, or maybe not a lot. Maybe what's a lot to me is not a lot to other people, and that I know that
Yeah.
firsthand. I'm friends with a lot of like whales who their snap budget is like my life budget. like
Yeah.
like I get it.
It's
That
hard.
like they do want people to spend more than $10 a
Yeah.
month, and I want to spend $10 a month, and I can see why our goals are at odds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately,
Yeah. It is. It really is, and it's a sticking point, and it's the game is so much fun. You had mentioned earlier, we talked about that too, but yeah, it's getting to the point now where it's just I don't know. There's so many things that I've heard from so many people that have written things about the economy, have talked about the economy and stuff like that of the game. The one thing is, we all love the game, we all want it to last, and we all want it to be fun. But it's going to get to a point where, and I don't know, again, it's another thing where you don't know just how to change it. I was even thinking of a pack system like Magic, where every 3 months or so they give you a pack, and everybody gets maybe like random, like different cards. Like you get a pack of 10 that you could pay for, and everybody just can get some different cards, and you see some different cards out there. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. They're much smarter than I am with this, but yeah, it's there's the Series 3 problem that I talked to a lot of people
oh
about.
yes, and
You
it's a
know,
problem. Yeah,
yeah, it is. Lauren, whatevs was on the show. She mentioned that. Ree just mentioned it talking to her last night. So yeah, let me hear your thoughts on it a little bit while we're there. I mean, we love the game, but again, the economy leaving a little bit to be desired lately, especially with
hmm
the addition of the cards. No Series 4 cards.
yep.
So I don't know. I really,
Lauren wrote that great article
she
that
did.
I read earlier today. Finally, I meant to read it sooner, but yeah. Oh, geez, not. So my goal, or not, ideally, I just want to be able to recommend Marvel Snap to
Mhm.
everyone I know.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I don't like when I have complaints about the game. It's not because I want to be complaining about the game. It's because something is happening that makes it so that I can't tell everyone to play this fun game that I like.
Yep.
And the Series 3 problem is really just like the poster child for that issue for me.
Yeah.
Where like, how can I recommend this game when it takes 6 to 7 months just to get through like Series 3, which in theory, like this is the stuff that we should all have in common. Like,
Yep.
well, you can assume that like, okay, we're all Series 3 complete, so like I don't need to worry when I'm recommending this deck. Like if there are no Series 4 or 5 cards in it, I know that like all my friends can play this deck. But that's like not going to be the case. Man, it's just 7 months is a long time to get a functioning collection.
100%.
And it's easier to target Series 4 and 5 cards through the Spotlight system than it is to target Series 3 cards, even though they are in theory like less valued or desirable or whatever.
Yep.
Like it's goofy and inconsistent and just unwelcoming. And I want the game to be more welcoming. I think that's probably like the biggest challenge it's going to face in 2024 is like how do you sustain like we need new players because not everybody is going to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just the nature of the beast. I mean, look, there's always going to be, you had mentioned being a Marvel fan. I think many of us can say that we're playing this game probably because you like Marvel. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be playing.
I mean, I'd probably be playing it if there were no Marvel. Honestly,
Really?
I
Yeah.
don't
Just if it
care
was
for the
okay.
Warcraft IP, but I played a lot of Hearthstone. I'll go where the
Yeah.
cards are.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. But like, it has to, I don't know, the to last, you're always going to have, you have to, like you were saying, you have to get the new players coming in, right? You have to get them coming in, and on the other side, like you were saying, to try to recommend it to a friend, somebody who hasn't played, and trying to do this thing that I do and talk to maybe new people about a game that maybe they're just starting, you know, and then to when they realize how they have to go to just catch up. And like you were saying, that amount of time that it takes is just crazy. It's insane. And then for the people who leave, maybe some people just got a little fed up with it. They left for a while and then maybe want to come back, because you'll see some people who
Doesn't
do
seem
that.
very inviting right now.
No, it's really not. And it is a problem, and that's going to be something if they want to make this sustainable and they want to keep this going. My gosh, with the IP they have and the characters that are still out there that have yet to have cards made for, they can do this forever.
Yep, they should be positioned to keep doing this for at least another 5 years. I think.
There's so many Marvel characters that people haven't even touched or known about yet that aren't in this game, that they can really go on forever. But yeah, like you said, they have to, something needs to be done. I know Lauren, when she was on, suggested make that climb faster for season 3.
I think that's the simplest, and like I think that's like the least they can do.
Yeah,
I think it wouldn't be that hard, and it would make the game much healthier. And yeah, we shouldn't be punishing people for not being early adopters. That's like not that's not constructive.
Yeah,
useful.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. No, I agree. And we'll see how it goes, and what their future plans hold. Now, I did see Lauren mentioned there are some little glimmers of hope out there. There was a, I think she was talking about the Token Tuesday thing that looked like it was getting a little better, that some of the economics was getting a little better, but
without Series 4 cards, tokens are
useless,
significantly less valuable. And already we were getting more tokens than we needed to purchase Series 4 cards. So like to say that tokens have halved in value since the discontinuation of Series 4, or the almost discontinuation of Series 4, maybe that's not entirely accurate, but like they do seem like the currency you should not be getting into right now. So I've been doing credits to mission, or gold to mission refills for the credits and stuff.
Even gold. I've even noticed that the gold has gone down. Like some of the stuff on the collection track, or on the season pass track, you were getting like 100 here, 200 there in gold along the way. Now some of them are 50s.
That could be. I noticed. I mean, you can get 50s at the end for sure. I haven't paid as much attention to that. In my experience, the season pass has provided pretty consistent value. I mean, like I don't have it all pulled up in front of me, but it's possible. I really don't know. I feel like I would have heard louder grumbling, but maybe not. I don't know.
I could be wrong, but like I said, I could be wrong, and maybe I saw that elsewhere, but I'm pretty sure that's at some points I'm seeing some 50s. Maybe it wasn't, you know what? Maybe I'm not thinking about the season pass check. It might have been in the caches. It may have been in just the cash pulls.
Oh, there's no gold in those.
No, I had to have seen it, and it wasn't higher up, because I'll usually get up higher up and expect to have it lowered. No, man, I don't know. I could be wrong. Who knows? My memory isn't what it used to be, but
nor is mine.
Yeah, but I could remember. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing some 50s, and then like, ooh, and I was kind of taken aback by it a little bit when I saw it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Token Tuesday changed, but my advice is still don't buy, especially if you are not missing any Series 4 cards. It doesn't seem prudent. If you're a progression-minded player.
Yep. Agreed. All right,
let's get to, because it felt like an auto buy for me for a long time, even after the numbers were like not quite as favorable. I liked the consistency, and I've had some very bad luck for the past few months with my keys required to get the desired cards. It's been a lot of 4s, and a lot of 4s. I had great luck at the beginning, but nothing good lasts.
I go up and down. I'll have, like, last season, I think I ended up using, I ran into, like you did, I ran into a 4. And then now yesterday, I was going to get Red Hulk with tokens. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just try one. I opened one cache and I got him. So I lucked out. I
Wow.
got him I got him on the very first cache. So I was like, all right. And then I let it go because I really didn't want the other cards. I didn't care about the other two cards that were in there. So I'm
What
like,
is it? It's Shaw
Echo,
and
and Shaw. Yeah. So, and I have Shaw already. I didn't need that variant, and I had, and I have Echo as well, but which never gets much play anyway. So I just chose not to go any further with it. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I hope that in the next couple months, maybe we'll see the series 4s come back at some point in time. There are rumors about another series drop that may happen at some point in time. I don't know. I hope so. And I hope they get this a little bit in a better way for, again, getting, like you said, those new people to come in and just keeping the game healthy overall. And because, like you said, there are always going to be other things. Hell, there's a Marvel game on the horizon that a lot of people saw the trailer for, that Marvel Rivals that's coming out.
If people are just here for the IP, that's there's about to be some competition for that, especially for, these like competitive dopamine, like, I gotta play another match. Like if you have that I gotta play another match drive within you, there's another Marvel way to do that coming right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that particular game genre. It looks a lot like,
it's not for me. But
yeah, I'm not either. It looks like Overwatch, a lot like Overwatch, or maybe even, I don't know, even a little bit of Destiny in there.
Yeah, I'm not coordinated enough to.
No, I'm not either. Yeah, me either.
I'm not the clumsiest, but I'm not built for shooters.
Yeah, me either. I'm not good at it, but it does appeal to a lot of people. And I've heard, other creators that I watch their channels have already mentioned it, even that they may be, covering it a little bit or doing so. So I'm like, oh boy, so that's, so that's the whole thing behind this, is that, like Ben said, the IP is what draws people in, and there's going to be a lot more Marvel games, in not only this one coming up, but in the future, that are going to pull people away. So that's a big thing. Absolutely. So I want to go over the season cards with you really quickly here. So let's start with Zemo. You said you got a little bit of a chance to play with him. What did you think of Baron Zemo so far in the season pass?
I've liked him. The first time I played him, I won, and that nice. Always makes a good first impression. The card he pulled was Ant-Man, which is a relatively weak pull for him, but it felt effective and good, and it made Mockingbird cheaper. And now I'm gonna see. I'm always consulting my stats because I'm a total nerd. But why is it not showing me my stats? This is maddening. Man, I never have this. Okay, there we go. Card stats today. Last 7 days, maybe? Okay. Let's see about Baron Zemo. Actually, see, this is why I always look at the stats. I should take him out of that deck. He's bringing everything down. The deck has a cube rate of 1.5. When I draw Baron Zemo, cube rate is 0.69. When I play Baron Zemo, the win rate drops to 45.45 and the cube rate drops to 0.45. Baron Zemo is leaving the deck.
There you go.
Why we check these things.
Yeah.
If you're wondering how my deck tweaking process works, it works like that. I wonder, hey, is Baron Zemo actually good? I look, I find out, no. And I'm not saying the card is bad, but within that deck, it is bad. I should take it out.
You're gonna have to give me some directions as to how to do that. I would love to do that and just check all that stuff. You're signed into a website, obviously, with your staff ID and all that, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I knew you could look up deck lists, or deck lists, obviously, and certain decks and how they perform, but I had no idea you can get it down to each card and how each card performs for you. Wow, that's really neat.
I know that a lot of people put a lot of stock in what Untapped says is good. I think that far more important is what's good for you. Not what's good. I don't know if you've met most people, but I'm not most people. I don't play the cards they play. I don't like the stuff they like. I don't make the choices they would make. they're looking at the game differently than I am, and
Yep.
the thing that will help me win more is finding out which cards I'm going to win with, not
Right.
which cards other people have won with, because
Yep.
they're to say that they think about it differently is like kind of an understatement. Yeah, I don't know. So I think we should all maybe pay a little more attention to our own performance with cards, and
Smart
maybe
idea.
try. My advice would be don't try as hard to be the best average Marvel Snap player. Try to be the best specific Marvel Snap player.
Yeah.
Is my advice.
That's smart, though. I mean, when you're looking at, because look, a lot of people will, and look, I've done it, and a lot of people will just, sometimes you see these larger creators will be on doing their thing, and which they do very well, and they'll have decks, and you'll see them performing pretty well with a certain deck, and then you're thinking like, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to use this deck, and then many times you'll play it and you suck. And it just doesn't go well. And you're like, well, I don't get this. It was looking really good on this video, and yet it's not working well for me. So to your point, that's why a lot of times, sometimes it's good to adjust things maybe a little bit here or there, put your own little spin on something, even if it's changing a card or two. But also, just because you see someone else playing it, they're good at it. They know the deck. It's their deck. They made it, and so like Ben is talking about, they know the deck, and to refine it though, that's smart. Because if you see, like you just did, you see now that this card really isn't doing that well for you. Well, why keep it in there?
Yep.
So yeah. I love that. I think that's great advice. That's awesome. So I played them a little. I wanted to try these mill decks that people were coming up with. So I messed around with that a little bit, with the Yondu's and with the Gladiator and with the, all the other stuff to get rid of that. But, I found that it's a fun concept. But you will get some cards out of their decks and stuff like that maybe, but you know what I found too? He will also allow them to dig for their better cards quicker.
Yep, you ensure consistency of their late game draws.
Yes. So in that aspect, everybody hates the card Baron Mordo for that reason, because a lot of times Baron will pull a card that they want anyway, and that they weren't maybe going to draw. So yeah. So
if it's a 6-cost card, like you just gave them the half of a crystal, like their half.
Yep, they just got a Doctor Doom, or they just got a Magneto, or something along those lines. You just pulled it. I had one pull me a Galactus, and I was probably not going to get it. They pulled it, I won. So yeah, it's that simple. You're thinning out their deck, and so while
and specifically like the low stuff, like you are removing the chaff.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So he seems cool, and I like the fact that they were trying to maybe make a little bit of a different deck type, and everything like that. So it's a good idea. I just don't know that, and maybe, who knows? Maybe
and if that is a lot of stats.
It is, yeah. 3/5's good.
It's a significant swing for the energy. And it's obviously best played late, not played early.
Correct.
Because you want to cheapen your Mockingbird if you're me. But you should not, it turns out.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe he'll fit in Surfer. Everybody says
could
that.
Be.
Right? He's the 3/5
he's not my Surfer pick of the season.
Oh man,
he's not even the second choice of the best Surfer card this season, I think.
Oh man, he's such an iconic character too. I love Baron Zemo. I did a whole comic book thing review on him and just totally forgot he was in literally one of the first comics I probably ever got my eyes on when I was.
He was also in one of my first comics.
Was he really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Wolverine one.
Nice.
In the late 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
There was some Operation Zero Tolerance going on.
Oh, okay.
That was the big event at the time.
Okay. Yeah. I saw him first in a Captain America and Falcon book. back in the mid 70s, I would say, probably 74, 75. What I remember most about that is there's the classic, like, we're going to trap the hero. On the cover, they had Cap literally up in irons, hanging over a big vat of what looked like boiling acid, something or other. And he's just strung up there like that. And all of a sudden, Falcon's bursting through the window to come in and help him. And Zemo's over there with the, and I'm like, so that's kind of where I got introduced to the character. The typical villain has the like the old 60s Batman with the, Batman was always trapped in something and would get rescued at the very end. But yeah, so that's where I was introduced. But it's
sort of a James Bond death trap situation.
Yes, yep. But yeah, he's been in so many things, and a lot of people forget he was in the MCU. He, of course, was the one who instigated Civil War. If you've seen the Civil War movie, that was him.
I cannot conjure the actor's name at the moment.
Yeah,
but,
I can't.
That one guy,
that dude with the blonde hair. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, me too. I can't remember his name either. He was also, of course, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that was when he donned the mask. So you saw him use the iconic mask that you see.
Also, the iconic fur.
And the fur, yes. The fur coats. I remember I was going through the thing and I totally forgot going through it that he literally has no powers. He doesn't. He's just
a guy, as far as I know.
He's a strategist, a military general, and yeah, that's it. So it's his superior intellect is his power, and then he gets everybody to join him and gets larger powers to work with him. But so that's Baron Zemo. That is your season pass card, and then we'll look at and I don't know, I can't remember if you told me you had a chance to play with him yet, but the big boy here, Red Hulk. You didn't get Red Hulk, did you? Yeah,
nope, I've been playing against Red Hulk. I don't know. I'm sure like he's definitely better than I expected him to be.
He's nasty. Yeah.
But I did not expect him to be very good at all.
Yeah.
So I was wrong, but I don't think I was that wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think he's he's no pre-nerf blob or anything like that.
Right.
Like the way I see it, he's kind of a win more card because, if your opponent is wasting energy on like 3 separate turns, you should probably already be winning,
No doubt. No doubt.
You shouldn't need a 623 to punish them for stumbling like out the gate like that hard,
Yeah.
I just like it does seem like it's a more practical like value thing than I expected it to be, but I still do think that it pushed it's like not philosophically consistent with like good stuff you want to lean into like for your deck. At least that's how it feels to me. Yeah. I don't know. That's a very silly thing to say, but it's kind of how I think of it. Like he's pulling you away from the purpose of winning the game into just like winning harder, I guess.
Winning more. He gets
I know this is like a very familiar concept to card gamers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, some win more cards are good. Like sometimes winning more is a thing that you should do a little bit of. But yeah, I can't believe that he's going to really, land, find his place in the pantheon of big gnarly 6-drops. I just don't see it really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
He gets big. I will say. We talked before the show. I usually never see him less than 23. 23 seemed to be the low point of him. I got him up to 27, I think was the high, but I've seen people showing stuff where he's over 30. I think this is very dependent. It's very dependent on the meta, no doubt. Because if people are playing decks where they're gonna have to skip turns, and for whatever reason, this card's going to punish them. However, the one drawback to this is you are not going to probably win many cubes with him because they are going to see him scale. So they're going to know you have this coming. And if they know that they can't beat it and you wait until turn 6 to play it, And obviously at that point, the Shang-Chi is going to do them no good because they're going to have to guess where you're putting it. And if you have enough power already out there, and this is like you were saying, is a win more, where you're basically just looking now to control not just 2 lanes, but 3, and you're dumping him on a 3rd lane, they're going to retreat. So that's So that's that's a big drawback. The fact that they know you have it.
Also, like, he has to be in your hand to grow, and
yes, like he does.
He's only. I feel like maybe the reason I'm not that intimidated is that the decks that I tend to favor all have like very low curve. I'm playing a million 2 and 3 drops all the time. Like, the deck is usually like 9 2 and 3 drops and then 3 other cards or something.
Yeah, so
that's a big pattern for me. So I am very rarely leaving energy on the table.
Yep. Yeah, you wouldn't even need to worry about it then. Yeah.
I think if you're skipping a lot of turns, or if you're, maybe if you're ramping your energy and maybe you're playing a 5 drop when you actually have 6 energy early or something, like if you're making trouble for yourself, I can see where Red Hulk would punish you.
Yeah. You know where I saw it a lot too is in people playing Hope, because they don't use their energy. There'll be times when they'll play a Hope, they'll get the extra energy, or they'll play 2 cards on a Hope even more. They'll get more energy than they thought, and then they won't use it. So
even in the 40 games I've played in the season so far, like, I have learned to be more conservative with my usage of Hope, because I don't want to invite the Red Hulk.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's not hard to play around if you think to play around. Like, nobody's making you play those extra cards on Hope's lane. Like, that's a bad habit. You shouldn't be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, there are drawbacks. There are certainly drawbacks to it. The fact that
Red Hulk is there to make us better. That's what I think.
Yeah. The good old General Ross Hulk. Yes, he is. It's a cool character. The character was invented, of course, as an enemy to Hulk. So, one
of those shadow selves.
Yes.
Adam, who does the Marvel Snap lore, points out a lot of shadow selves this season.
Yeah, they sometimes get to the point where heroes are too good, and they just have to make something that's equivalent to them, kind of like Superman and Doomsday. Who is going to beat Superman unless he's an invulnerable creature that has similar powers to him? So, shadow things. Yes,
we are very invested in that concept. For every Ash, there must be a Gary.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. He has a fire variant that came out today, by the way. Amazing variant where he's on the motorcycle. So good. Right out of the comics, that came from a Venom comic. Flash Thompson was Venom at that time.
That's
but yeah. So
that must be after my time.
I
haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, that was early. I think maybe mid to late, like 2015, 2016. I want to say, in and around there.
That is a blind spot for me.
Yeah. So right around there, but it's cool. Cool cover. You see him on the bike, and there's some very small person on his shoulder. I don't remember who that was, but it's a very literally like this tiny. It looks like Ant-Man compared to him, because he's just gigantic. But yeah, so there you go. First 2 cards of the season are out, and hope you are enjoying them and playing with the cards if you got them, and having a good time doing it. So, all right, let us go to here. We're going to go through this really quickly because we're kind of running out of time, and I don't want to keep Ben forever. These are
don't worry about me.
These are the April. Obviously, April. No, we're in April.
Oh wait, those are the May cards.
These are the May cards.
I have no opinions about these yet.
Okay. All right.
I have more opinions about the April ones.
Yes.
I haven't even wrapped my head around some of these things.
These are the May cards, and who knows? I mean, these will probably be changed. We saw all the ones for this month get changed. So these will probably get changed too. But yeah, I just wanted to get your general thoughts, and because you didn't see them, that's cool. If there's anything that stands out to you in these cards, we've got Sasquatch, we've got Gamora, we've got Sage, we've got Blink, and we've got Nocturne. What kind of looks kind of cool to you looking at these cards?
I think the cool ones to me from I guess I've looked at these when they first got
Yeah.
out of mind or whatever. I thought that Sasquatch looked promising,
Okay.
like probably like pretty busted, honestly. I suspect if you're doing bounce things or whatever.
Cost one less for each
And
card you played last turn. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
obviously I love Nocturne. It I love small move cards. I'm
Your
not a
move
big
cards.
fan of
Yes.
these expensive move cards they keep trying to sell us. I'm sorry,
Yep.
Spider-Man 2099 at 5.
Oh, that's
What if
awful.
I don't much care for Hercules. I think
Yeah.
that there are two big expensive move cards that are fun to play, and they are Heimdall and Magneto, and everything else should cost 3 or less.
Yeah.
So Nocturne is within my specifications for what a good, appropriate, tasteful move card is. And also like a little bit of location manipulation.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, that is something that the move player wants.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm just very excited to play Nocturne and do,
Move things.
I'm always looking to the future with the assumption that they'll do the right thing and unnerf Angela. So like when I look at these future cards, I'm like, yes, and I'll play that on Angela, and she'll gain 2 power, and I'll move it away. So as long as Second Dinner has the courage to do what's morally correct and revert the nerf to Angela, I think I'll have a lot of fun with Nocturne.
Yeah. I would agree. You're a move player. I got to ask you this too. So, what move decks are your favorites? So obviously we had Silky Smooth when that blew up. That's kind of the one you're talking about a little bit there with the Angela, with the kitty, with
I
that kind of
guess.
stuff.
Here's the thing. I was doing that before Silky Smooth.
Oh, all right.
I kind of resent Silky Smooth for letting the cat out of the bag. This was the moment when like that all got quite popular. But I've been a huge fan of Silk from the first day of her release. My first the first Infinity border I got was with Silk and Spider-Man 2099. I was riding high on that Spider-Verse's juice. And
he's a great character too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't played him a whole lot since then, Spider-Man 2099, but I like the small move decks. The decks that I always used to play in tournaments and everything, I always used to play a Heimdall move deck that also had Magneto. Sometimes I would include a bounce element with Beast, and I think that's probably how I would build it right now if I were playing a lot of that. But I would have Iron Fist, Ghost Spider. Oh yeah, that Infinity Conquest winning deck that had a 2/3 Ghost Spider in it, because I've always been a believer, not just when they buffed her to 1/2. I think all the Johnny Come Latelys who only started playing her after that are fake fans, and Gwen deserves better. But anyway, so I'm all about those two. Play your Dagger, your Vulture. I don't really trust Human Torch on account of dying to Killmonger. Even though Killmonger is not always a large meta presence, I just don't trust Human Torch. And I like to play cards that make me feel secure and all that. So I love move decks that do the Angela things. I got really frustrated when they changed how Elsa worked so that you couldn't Iron Fist cards out of her lane. Because I love doing, like I said when we were talking about Hope, I love, playing these cards and then moving them somewhere else. Like that's my favorite thing to do. And so I like Silk. I like Jeff. I like Silk better than Jeff. I like Vulture and Dagger a lot. Those are the kinds of move things I like to play. I also enjoyed Werewolf by Night when he cost 3. That was that was a good time to be. Just anything that makes Craven big, I like to do. That's my philosophy.
That's awesome. Werewolf was such a good card when he first came out. So fun. He was everywhere. A lot of people were using it. I never I never really played much move because I used to, well, especially like the Heimdall move for sure, because I always looked at that as being like, you really like that. For lack of a better term, I like to call them a big brain deck. I think you really need to be focused to play those decks. And I admire the people
It's
who do.
true. You do have to be in it.
Yeah, you
This
really
is
do.
not a deck to
Yeah.
play while you're watching Netflix.
Yes. Yeah. You can't be distracted or anything when you're playing that, because you really need to plan your moves ahead of time to do that. So anybody that plays that and played that well is a good player of the game, because yeah, it is not an easy deck to play. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've tried them. But again, that's a deck you have to play a lot and kind of commit to as well to get to know it. But you can speak to that better than I can. But yeah, it's. I remember watching when I first started playing this. One of the creators I watched a lot was Molt. And Molt loves move. That's all he would play was move, and he loves move. So I saw him playing it quite a bit. But yeah, it's you really need to kind of get to know the deck, dedicate yourself to getting to know all of the ins and outs. But also, like you said, it has to be, you can't not pay attention.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's a really fun, rewarding deck to play. I think it probably made me better at the game that I played so much of it for so long, and it's just really fun. I think the juiciest decision in the deck is like, are you playing Heimdall on turn 6 or are you not playing Heimdall on turn 6? Because like everybody expects you to, like you're not really sneaking up on a lot of high level players with the Heimdall thing.
Yeah.
But they might not expect that Magneto. And like, I just loved checking at, like, as the game resolved, to see, could I have also won if I'd played the other one, like Heimdall or Magneto? Like, if I picked Magneto and I won, could I have also done the Heimdall thing and made that work? It's a really fun deck to play, and you can just like turn the decisions over in your mind, and it's one of my favorites of all time. But these days I play that move surfer stuff. Sorry, I was like, so those are the kinds of move decks I like.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Do you agree with the people who say, because I've heard folks that really like the move deck talk about that, maybe, I know they made an adjustment to Heimdall, but some have said that maybe Heimdall should just be a better closing card for the move deck. So maybe cost less, or maybe just change him around so he can legit be kind of like a big bad for move, just to give it that extra big push at the end. Now you're playing Magneto, so you do it a little bit of a different way. But for the ones that were just playing the tradition, I guess you could maybe kind of call it the traditional one, where it was just Vulture, it was Ghost Spider, it was Dagger, it was Multiple Man, and then of course
I don't mess with Multiple Man. I think Multiple Man is a trap.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No. If you're playing Phoenix Force, he's great. Otherwise, stay away from that card. Yeah. He's a false prophet.
Okay.
He's there to lead you astray.
He clogs your lanes more than likely, I would bet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Makes sense. That makes sense. But you think the move, if you could see, right? If you could make a card or see a card for the move archetype come into play, what kind of card would you make for them? Like, if you could, I want to call it go ahead.
Oh, I would love to briefly shout out the Annihilus that almost was.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
There was found in the game's files was an earlier version of Annihilus.
Yeah.
Who was a 6 cost, and his effect was every other card moves to a different random location.
Yep.
So it's just like the biggest, messiest, sloppiest game of musical chairs, and all of your move things would proc, and Craven, and oh my gosh, now with Kingpin. Kingpin wasn't Kingpin.
Yeah,
dude. Well, Kingpin was different. That would also have been nuts with Kingpin.
Yeah.
But like not in a good way. In a you kill a lot of your own things kind of way, I think. Or is it only I don't have to worry about old Kingpin because I play new Kingpin.
Yes,
so
that is true.
I'm unconcerned with that. New Kingpin definitely doesn't hurt your own stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a cool card. I was thinking actually just now as you were discussing Heimdall and the arguable inadequacy of him as a finisher for a move.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what if he got rid of the wall at the end of the board, so to speak? What if you could flip all your things from the left location? What if they could slide over to the other side like a rotating belt thing?
Okay.
You know, like
So,
what if
so,
everything moved one position to the left except
so
for the
they
stuff on
would
the left, which
rotate
pops out on the
around.
right?
Yeah, that's an
You know,
interesting
like
thought. Yeah.
like an arcade game. You know, like
Yeah.
we're playing Pac-Man or something.
Goes through the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. I mean, it fits his powers, right? When he teleports people with that thing, they
I
just
just
go
like
wherever
the idea that like he puts the sword down and everything else around
everything
him
just goes where. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It feels juicy to me.
That would be
I think that would
neat.
be fun. I think it might be a little bit too good, but we're looking at ways to make him better. So yeah, I think I don't know if it would be entirely balanced. Maybe if they shaved off maybe if they made him a 6/6 or something, maybe that wouldn't be over the line. But like it would just be great to have I think that would be very exciting for me personally. I would enjoy that. I'm not saying it would be great for the health of the game or the balance or anything, but it would be very amusing to me.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I don't know. My guess would be it'd probably be maybe, I don't know, it might be
just give him more stats.
Well, not just a stat thing. No, I like your idea, but I'm just wondering how hard it would be for them to develop that, because could they actually get cards to go from that spot to the other spot without kind of making some kind of weird redesign of the game? I don't know, but I like it. I think that's cool. I think it fits with the lore. And yeah, I think that's cool. It needs, that particular thing needs something, because you know, it's like you were saying, he's very predictable. Most players, like you were saying, good players or players that maybe haven't been playing for a long time, they're going to figure everything's shifting to the left. And I know I've done this myself. I'm like, all right, they're going to play the Heimdall. They didn't leave themselves room to play Heimdall middle, or rather, they leave one spot. So they would play, I knew Heimdall was going to be played middle. So I'm guessing what's shifting over. And then I'm thinking, all right, these big power cards all go to the left. I'm playing right and center. I'm just going to beat them right in the center, because I know the Heimdall is going to be in one. The center lane's not going to be that great either. And that's newer players that play that deck, probably that's what a lot of the mistakes are, is they don't realize that it is very predictable, and you have to play around that and make sure that you're not, you don't have power. Now, when they fake you out a little bit and the Heimdall is middle, and then they get certain cards that will shift to the left, and then the other cards will come over from the left, but then they'll still have good power on the other side. So but I think it would be cool to have something done, because like you were saying, the cards that they made for move, Hercules is trash. Just not.
Move cards are fundamentally better when they're smaller,
Yeah.
and these 4 and 5 cost ones, they muck everything up.
Yeah. Hercules is trash. 2099 I see get played every now and then as a surprise that this kills something, but it's not played much anymore, and it's a shame, because it's, like I said, it's a great card, great character rather.
Yeah, I don't want to say that like Heimdall move is like a bad option right now, because I just haven't been playing it very much.
Yep.
I like sort of stopped playing it when Blob came out, and I just couldn't compete with the numbers, and I had to start trying different things, and I haven't really come back to Heimdall move much since like December of last year or whatever. So I don't know, maybe it's better than I think it is right now. Maybe it's in a stronger position than I believe, but it hasn't looked appealing to play for me for a while. I think maybe there's been some power creep that sure a Heimdall buff might help with. I understand why you asked about it, for sure.
Yeah. It's just out of curiosity, because I know Dagger, I think, is tremendous. I played with Dagger a little bit when they first buffed.
Oh, Dagger was great
my
before the buff.
gosh.
With the buff, she's just like, whoa, that's one of the craziest things you can do with 2 energy.
Yeah, she gets really powerful, really quickly. So yeah, no doubt, such a huge card. But yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, it's a good look at it. I like to look at that genre because not too many people talk about move, and I like that. There are different variations of it, and like Ben said, Phoenix Force obviously is out there being played a decent amount now, I would think. But so it's cool how some of the cards fit in there
for different folks. I'm not a fan, but
yeah. No, I'm not either. I never get the proper.
I would lay down my life to defend your right to play that stupid card.
I that's one of those decks where you just need everything to happen the right way, and it's like I don't see that. I never see either. I'll see the multiple mana come out, and I won't get the Carnage to kill it. I'll see the Phoenix, or I'll see something all set up that looks like it's great, but I'll never draw Phoenix Force to get that. So it's like, yeah, it just doesn't work out. But yeah, that's cool, man. I like it. I like that little discussion on move. I love that. So these are the cards that will be coming out soon. We'll see if they get that they may get changed around by then. Who knows? All this data mine stuff usually does. So more than likely, we will probably see some kind of a different thing coming out with that. So, all right,
Nocturne is my pick.
Yeah, Nocturne looks great.
The cool card. Also Sasquatch.
Some people were looking at that card and said, and it kind of looks like Nightcrawler. She is Nightcrawler's daughter.
Yes, there's a reason for that.
So if you weren't aware, Nocturne is Nightcrawler's daughter. So that is indeed why she looks like Nightcrawler. So awesome. All right. Well, we're coming toward the end of the show, and I wanted Ben to, like I have been now for this. I skipped this for a couple of weeks on my show, but it seems to be liked. It's goofy, but Ben, I'm going to have you play some Guess the Pixel with me here. Pixel cards do not get love. They just don't. Everybody just automatically hates them. They're like an afterthought in Marvel Snap. I kind of like them because they take me back to my old video game days when I'm playing pixelated everything.
Mm-hmm. I like pixels.
Yeah, I really don't.
Me and Delusion.
That's it.
We're the pixel folks.
Yes. Some people, I love some of them. I think Jubilee is fantastic. Jubilee looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
the pixel. Some of them look tremendous. And some of them it held cow. Not so much. But
my inked absorbing man pixel is like.
Do you have an absorbing man?
It's the gem of my surfer deck. I
love it.
It's the only absorbing man variant I've got. But I've been a huge fan of Absorbing Man the whole time. So
I think I just got that one actually because I had that replayed the other night too, and I think I had Absorbing Man on that for her to pick, and I'm pretty sure she got it. She did okay. She got 4 out of 5. So we'll see. All right. We're going to start off with, I just gave the first one away. Good job.
That one's Angel.
That's Angel. Well, there you go. That was an easy one.
I can avert my gaze.
No, you know what? I think the slides were just backwards. That's all. Well, you got a freebie. We'll give you that one because that was an error. But if you're not, oh my gosh, look at this. I'm clicking on everything and ruining the whole game is what I'm doing, guys.
All right, I am going to try to, I'm going to close my eyes and you just let me know when to open them.
All right. Anyway, well, I'll describe for you what Angel looked like. So then we'll move on from there. All right. So the Angel, we had the pixel part that I'm showing. We had you could kind of see like, it's like gray and blue and stuff in the back. So that's, of course, the wing. And then you see the yellow and the grays and the fist in the middle there. And yes, that is, of course, Angel. So yes, as I spoiled that, there he is in all his glory. That is the Angel.
A beautiful pixel. I'm a big fan of Pixel.
Yeah. Angel's all right. The bad card.
My preferred Angel variant.
Yeah,
I don't play Angel, but when I start playing Angel, it's going to be the Pixel one.
Let's hope someday we can play Angel at some point.
Hey, Ree plays Angel all the time.
Does she really play Angel?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, she does. Yeah, that's right. He's I love the which one is it? The Alex Ross one for him where he's holding that was it was from the Marvels books. Was like a painted version of him that came out. fantastic.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, looks really cool. It's a really cool one. All right, so I'm gonna skip because let's see. All right, let's go to this one.
Can I look?
You can look. Yes. So we got
Star-Lord.
It is not Star-Lord. We got a little red on the left, a little gray on the middle, and the bottom. I'm describing to the audio
I'm
people.
quite colorblind.
I had no idea. Oh my gosh.
Is this Black Knight?
It is not.
Is it Nova?
It is not Nova.
Is it Is it Thor?
It is Thor. Yes, it is.
There
Thor.
we go.
Yes, I didn't know you're colorblind. I apologize.
That's all right.
Yes, it is Thor. So he did get Thor. Yeah, obviously that Thor is not a bad pixel either. You've got the the lines going across the middle. Of course, you see his belt and his boots with the wings on there, and the red cape, and of course the hammer up on the top. So yes, that is indeed Thor. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna go to. Let's go to this one.
I know what this is. This is Leech.
Got it right off the bat. He gets it. It is absolutely Leech. I just got this one, so of course I had to stick it in here. He looks really, really, really weird and goofy.
Oh yeah, he's goofy.
Someone had mentioned. I said I can't remember. It was a content creator I was watching, but he mentioned that this, unlike the other leeches you just want to hate so much. You just can't stand him. But this one, he kind of looks kind of cute and goofy. So you really
I kind of like the hip leech, actually.
Do you like the hip leech?
The hip leech is very lovable.
Yeah, the hip leech is okay. He's got the big round white eyes, I think, and stuff, doesn't he? Yeah, I have that one. I like that one too. But I mean, obviously, such a hated card. So many people hate poor Leech.
Also, every time I think about Leech when I'm like looking at the webcam or anything, I always try to imitate the pose. Like,
with the leech, pose.
Yeah, I don't know if I had it right.
Oh, that's great.
I have a little I have a stocking cap that
do you
I like to wear when I'm doing I've done this multiple times. Like this is like a habit I really have.
That's fantastic.
I'm a little dork. If about once a month I'll stream. I usually end up doing it at some point.
That's awesome. Yeah,
he's
not so hated on now. He's not really very prominent anymore. Every now you'll see him pop up in a high Evo deck. But
he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I like the adjustment to his ability.
Yeah, me too. That kills the unreveal.
I've never hated Leech with fervor.
Yep. He is. I mean, look, it's
some
like
people
second
really do take offense, but.
Yeah, it's like they said though. He's necessary.
Oh, you're cutting out there for me.
Oh, I'm cutting out audio wise.
You were for a minute there, but I think it's over now.
We good? Okay.
Yeah, audio wise. I think I lost you for a second.
I am having some we're having really bad where I live. They're having really bad.
Continue. Sorry.
Stuff like that. No, it's okay. Yeah, we're having some really bad storms and everything up in our area, so it could very well be that the wind has been.
We lost internet last week.
Did you? Yeah, it's been bad.
Windstorm.
There's rain for the last 3 days, just a big storm blowing through the Northeast, and it's been like high winds. When I was coming home, there were trees down across wires, electrical wires, traffic lights out. It's bad. So it could very well be. I was wondering if that may interfere with some of the stuff. So knock on wood, nothing went out. So that's good. All right. So we had Leech.
The Midwest, and we have
we
have a different brand of wind.
I'm sure you do. I'm just glad that it wasn't cold when we got.
We get the NATOs and such.
Okay. Oh no. Yeah. Well, I'm in Northeast PA, so we have seen those now. Not like you do. We'll see tornadoes touch down every now and then around here. In fact, one maybe 15 minutes away from where I live, and I'm up high in the mountains. It'll touch down. It touched down enough to ruin. The person had like an apple orchard. It took out his entire apple orchard. So we've gotten them. In fact, I work in a Best Buy. And when was it? 3? Oh man, now it must be going on. probably about 6-7 years ago. I wasn't at that store at the time. I was working for another company, but in the store that I work in currently, a tornado came right, luckily, thankfully, out about 3 or 4 minutes after all the stores had closed. So good, there wasn't a lot of people around, but the tornado whipped through the entire strip mall, took off like up the Barnes and Noble roof. It took off the Best Buy roof. Just went right through and hit the mountains. Yeah, so we're starting to get them. We didn't really ever see them much in this area. I can remember growing up and we never heard about tornadoes ever. But now all of a sudden, they're starting to make their way in here. I would never want to see one. I'm glad I never have. But I don't know if you have, but that's scary. I would never ever want to go through that. So
yeah, I've been lucky that sometimes you have to go down to the basement or whatever, but it's always been fine.
Yeah. The closest I ever got, there was one that hit about maybe 20 minutes or so from me, and I was driving home. And I'll never forget this because I was always told that when a tornado comes, you will see a sky that almost looks like a sickly kind of a green color.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving over a mountain going on the other side, and the tornado did hit, but it hit on the other side of the mountain, and I could see the entire sky over me was that weird green color. And I'm like, oh man, like it's scary. It's scary stuff. It really
I remember the first time I encountered that the green color and everything. I was like very young, and we had attempted to watch the Tim Burton Batman.
Oh, okay.
Great movie. I found it to be too scary. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
However many years old I was, and then to have the sky changing a funky color that I had never seen before was like, this is a little too much novelty in my day right now.
Yeah, that's scary.
Unexplained weather phenomena that I like. Yeah. I was not about it at like 4 or 5 years of age.
No, I can imagine. Yeah.
Again, I'm quite colorblind, so I didn't know what color was going on outside, but I knew it was not the correct one.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't want to live through that. I know every place you go has their thing. Like us, a lot of times it's snow. We just get tons and tons of snow. Up here. So, and that's not fun. It ruins a lot of stuff. Kids love it, but skiers love it. I am neither. So it's just a burden now to me. And, but everybody kind of has their thing. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be, in an area where there's tornadoes and stuff. That's just scary. So, yeah, man. All right. So let's go back to this. I got 1 or 2 more, and I'm going to go right here. I just got this one too a few days ago.
This isn't Abomination, is it?
You are very,
Stegron?
very. Nope, it's not Stegron. Which one?
Not Stegron, not Abomination, not the Lizard.
Nope. But you are very close. You are very close with your thinking of the way that it kind of looks, but think a lot bigger than Stegron or Lizard or.
Bigger than Stegron or Lizard.
Bigger in size. Much, much, much bigger in size.
Much bigger in size.
Yes. He benefited a lot from
Giganto.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Giganto. I just got this one too, and I thought this is a really fun. He's actually very cute and cuddly looking on this card.
Yeah, I have to say that's very friendly.
He's not at all mean looking.
I rock the Giulio Rencioni version, who's a little more disturbing.
He very much is disturbing. Well, that's the one from the original Fantastic Four cover, from the very, very first Fantastic Four book. That's who they're fighting is Giganto. He's coming out of the ground. But yeah, that's no. He looks very cute. He's a very cute pixel. So when I got him, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of like that pixel, actually.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's got a lot of like detail in terms of like
it really
the shadow on the abdomen.
Yeah,
like it's like as much as I love the pixels, there is inconsistent quality between them.
There certainly are.
And like it seems like there was a lot of care put into this one relative to certain others.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Like that leech. Oh my gosh! Like this was not made by the
no.
same person that did the
You know
leech.
what's funny? It almost looks like this pixel would have been like, let's say, 1990s pixels, right? This one looks like Final Fantasy 3 kind of pixels. And Leech
this one looks like it could have been in like a Super Nintendo game.
Yes, right, exactly. So, and the other pixel looks like it could have been in an Atari or an Intellivision or a ColecoVision, like a very early on.
Just a different generation of hardware.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know what the rhyme or the reason is for G Angle Studios, who they assign the good pixel artist to, and which characters they give to the intern or whatever. But dang, variable quality for sure.
You can see, like, yeah, absolutely. You can see the different ones and stuff on here. All right, I've got one more. Now you're probably going to remember it because you did see it, but hey, anyway, there it is. We've got some what looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like digital blocks on the right hand side there, and we've got some the little line going down the one side. It kind of looks like I don't know, it looked like it could be a wing or something like that maybe. But yeah,
you know what? I've completely forgotten what it was.
Did you forget who he was? Well, there you go.
Geez. Yep, entirely.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is obviously a close-up of the character.
It's not Angel.
It is not Angel. I do. Yep, nope.
Angel
was the very first one.
The first one was.
Yes. Angel was the very first one. I'll give you a hint with this one. You're gonna get it by looking at all of those tiny little close blocks that go down that right side, because that makes something that looks like a part of this person. So yeah, he's a. It's you know,
I want it to be like. It looks like a part of what? Sorry.
I'm trying not to say it without not necessarily giving it away.
I mean,
one
Stiltman
side
is not in the game.
No, one side of him is very different from the other. I'll say that. I wonder if that'll do anything there for you. So his one side of him looks very, very different from the other side.
Deathlock.
Oh, you're close. You're very close. You're very close. You can think Deathlock because his one that one appendage.
Is that smoke on the ground? Is it rubble on the ground?
Yes.
Is this Claw?
Nope. It is not Claw. Now this is I'm
trying to think of asymmetrical characters.
Yeah, like I said, the Deathlock was the closest one you could come up with. So kind of try to imagine what Deathlock, like especially his upper body, kind of looks like. And then the one part of the upper body is different from the other part. And it could, yeah. And this guy has almost the exact same thing. I'll even think arm. Think arm.
Forge.
You're in this. You got the genre. It's an X-Men character, so you're right in the family.
X-Men character.
You're right in the family. Are you watching X-Men 97? The new ones that just came out.
Is this Bishop?
No, but oh my god! This past episode.
The one with.
He was
Goblin
born,
Queen.
Yes, he was born in this past episode.
Is this Cable?
It's Cable. Yes,
I could have sworn I guessed Cable earlier.
You did. Well, you saw him. You saw him.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that you saw earlier. So yes, yeah. See, it was hard because it's
just a building in the background. It's just a building. That's what it is.
It's a building and then part of his silver arm. Where across in the background. He was too hard for me to focus in on because if I focused in on any other part of him, it would have been too easy. If you got the eye at the top or if you got the X on his chest, you'd definitely have known who he was. So he was
that's a really good pixel.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah, it's
Man,
not bad at all.
no,
Yeah.
like the pose is
Mhm.
very evocative, and like I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I see Cable doing that stuff. I love
Ab-
how his eyes flashing out and all that.
Yeah, no
Oh
doubt.
man,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, not bad
I
at all.
would play this Cable if I had him.
I
Oh
like
man,
Yeah, not bad at all. My favorite card, obviously Galactus, they totally ruined his pixel, and it makes me very angry. He would have looked 100% perfect, but he looks like he got punched in the face. He literally looks like
oh.
he got punched like on the right side of his face, and he looks like, or he's chewing a big water bubble gum, one or the other. But yeah, he just didn't come out right. There's yet to be a Man Thing pixel, so I have hopes, that maybe they'll make a good Man Thing pixel. So yeah, but well, there you go.
Be cool.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they do that one in a good way. I'm a big fan of the Swamp Guy. I love Man Thing, one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, and I was so happy when they brought him to the game. So yeah, love that. Love him. I liked his book since, oh my gosh, a long time ago. So all right, well, there you are. There you have it. Another episode of Guess the Pixel. And yeah, Ben, listen, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. We went a little overtime here, so I'm sorry about that. But man, thank you for coming out. I really enjoyed the discussion. You heard a lot of background, of course, of yours. And
I'm sorry, your audio is cutting out at the worst possible moment.
Oh, it's cutting out again. Hold on one sec. Let me see if you can hear me. How about now? Is it okay now? Better now?
I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. Like I said, it could be these goofy storms. So no big deal. No big deal. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm getting clear audio.
Okay, good. Yeah, no worries. Like I said,
oh shoot. Okay, now I heard something about storms. Okay.
Yeah. It could be storms in the area and stuff like that too. So yeah, but all right, sir. Well, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you being on with me tonight, and sorry about the bad audio there at the end and everything like that. But man, thanks so much for coming out. I really enjoyed having you here.
I'm sorry, I could not hear what you said at the end there.
Oh, you missed it? Oh man, I wonder what's
going on. This is such a bother.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Oh, that stinks. I'm trying to figure out.
All right. Well, as technical difficulties are getting the best of us, I would like to make one last point, which is, or not even a point really. Mm-hmm. I would like to use this platform to encourage everyone to get US Agent, because he's going to be awesome, and I see people undervaluing him in a major way. So that's my big secret tip for everybody who stuck around at the end. US Agent, very cool card. You should pick him up.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. So,
but also, I love you very much, and I hope you're having a lot of fun playing Marvel Snap and building decks and learning things and trying stuff and just having a good. Those are my takeaways that I would like people to have for this episode of Snap Decisions and my participation in it.
Awesome.
Also, thank you so much for having me, Joe. It's been an absolute blast.
You are very welcome, sir, and I'm sorry about the audio difficulties at the end. And for all of you who are listening, thank you very much for coming out. Make sure you check out Ben is out there on he's on Discord. He's also so check him out as well. But thank you all for coming out. Have a great rest of your week. Please stay safe, be kind to one another, and hopefully I'll see you all for the next episode. Have a great one, guys, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you so much, Ben. We'll see you all later. Have a good one, guys.